Call the meeting to order, whatever time it is.
Got it going.
What time is it?
6:47.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody, any additions or deletions to the agenda? I've got under new business, I'm gonna put appoint a representative to the Superboard meeting this Wednesday night. That's all I have. Members of the public?
Actually, I've got one thing.
Shoot.
On the, and this may not be the proper venue, but on the WCSU website for River Valleys, they're pointing to a website that no longer exists for River Valleys.
Matt, can you take care of that for Tammy, please?
I'll send you.
Yeah,
I'll send you a
you
link.
can tell me what's going on.
Thank you.
No problem.
So we have 3 sets of minutes to approve.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, September 16th, September 30th, and October 7th.
So moved.
Laura made a motion to approve the minutes of the September 16th, September 30th, October 7th. Do I have a second?
Back.
Dwight seconds it. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Replace board member. Okay, so guys gotta bear with me for a second because the desk is a little messy tonight. I did notice that Laura sat way away so that she
That's
doesn't
because
hit
I
me.
didn't realize, I was late. I didn't realize you couldn't start.
Okay, so I have from Carrie A. McDonald Katie at P.O. Box 81 in Eastover, letter of resignation. Dear Richard, I sadly submit my letter of resignation as a member of the River Valley Unified School District Board to be effective immediately. Although I am very excited about my new position with the judiciary, I will truly miss being part of this outstanding board. I enjoyed learning from you, watching the Dover and Wardsboro communities come together to embrace this change under Act 46 to create even more highly quality opportunities in their well-established academic programs. Thank you for all that you've done for our students in town. Sincerely, Carrie A. McDonald-Katie. So, we put an ad in the newspaper, and I think, Matt, you and Tammy put it on your website or something?
Not on the word.
Not on the Wardsboro site, okay, just on the Dover site. Okay, oh, so the law now states that I need to, that we need to, pardon?
It's not on the Dover site.
It wasn't on the Dover site?
It was in the paper.
It was in the newspaper. I thought it went out to the parents.
I have not received anything about it yet.
Received anything about what?
The notice of something on the website.
I thought we discussed it at the last meeting. No?
It wasn't the paper. It wasn't the paper.
Yeah, I thought.
We talked about how to get it out.
Such a format. Discussion. Nope, you're right. Sorry. Okay, well, I guess it hasn't gone out through the school, so it's just through the newspaper. So if you don't read the newspaper, you're kind of out of luck.
Would you like us to put something on websites or how by the notification system?
Well, obviously, it's not all up to me. So I would defer to the board.
Let's make a motion to accept Katie's resignation first.
Oh, we don't have to. No, but you can if you want to.
That's
We
fine.
can
We
do
don't
it,
have to.
because then we can make it with regrets. But actually, you can't not accept the resignation, we found out.
Really?
Yeah. So if somebody resigns, you can't say, well, we're just gonna ignore it, so that we don't have to deal with it. Once they write the letter, they've resigned. That was the Judy Saffron rule we found out. Well, go ahead, Rick, why don't you move on? No, go ahead and make a motion, because that would be nice, because you can do it with regret.
I make a motion that we accept Katie McDonald's resignation with regrets as a board.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. So, for the new person, so the law states we're supposed to, the rules now state we're supposed to consult with the select board. So I had a consultation with the select board. It was very fun.
Yeah?
No, it actually was. They were really good. Vicky Capitani said, "Why are you here?" And I said, "Well, this is how they changed the rules." And she said, "Okay." She said, "Well, it doesn't show in the minutes, but her, were you there for that? Her comment was, well, you guys know what you're doing. We have faith in you." I said, "I just had to consult." And they said, "Go move forward." So we consulted. So it's in the paper. It was only in the newspaper for 1 week or 2 weeks.
I don't know about an ad. I covered it as an article for them.
Okay. Was it in as an ad? Did anybody see it?
I think it
The
was.
minutes were posted also, right?
Yeah, the minutes get posted. So anyways, we had one candidate, Mark Bernard Schauber. I like the waffle. I like waffles, but I don't know what a waffle is. Does that mean you're full?
My childhood dog.
Oh. To Rich Werner, dated October 13th. While reading the Deerfield Valley News this weekend, I saw there is an opening on the River Valley Union School District Board to which a Dover resident will be appointed. I am writing because I'd like to be the one appointed to the open position. I believe I'd be a valuable member of the board. I've been regularly attending meetings, Dover School Board and RVUSD over the past few years. I feel I have a pretty good sense of topics that you've been handling since the inception of the River Valley Union School District, as well as the issues you have all faced during the Act 46 process leading up to the merger. I will attend the October 21st meeting and hope the board will consider appointing me to that open seat. I will bring steak and potatoes and champagne, and I will promise every board member a vacation in Hawaii in February if you, oh, wait,
Hey, how do you spell champagne?
champagne.
Just very sparkling wine.
Thank you for your consideration. So I guess the first thing is do we want to move forward with what we've done for posting?
So may I speak as the other Dover representative first?
Surely.
Okay, so because we've got it posted in our minutes, because it's in the newspaper, because we have an opportunity for anyone who feels that they may also be interested to step forward for this town meeting. And because we have what I would consider to be a pretty qualified candidate, really, somebody who has been here. I say, I would like to see us just move forward.
Okay.
I'm sorry, last part?
I'd like to see us move forward.
Rick, are you good with that?
I'm good, yeah.
Are you good with that?
Sounds good.
Okay. So I have 4 questions for you.
4. Wow.
Yeah, these are hard ones. Would you like to come forward, or would you like to sit there?
I will go wherever you'd like.
No, I mean, if you're comfortable there. Okay. No, these are some questions I came up with just to ask everybody who attended. So as usual, I would ask everybody. So I'm gonna get to ask you.
Go for it.
What do you want, why do you want to be on the River Valley's Unified School District Board? I mean, I know you get to spend time with me, and that should be enough, but.
That's down number 2 or 3. Sorry.
You didn't bring the steak
Why? I first got interested in the school board, I don't know, 3-4 years ago when I thought I was going to have a few stepchildren in the school. That hasn't happened, but I found it interesting. I think education's probably one of the most important things that a community can provide for its people. And I grew up around educators. I think I can make a difference. I think that you guys have done a great job. There are still things that still have to be determined, figured out, budgets, things like that, transportation, that I think I can be a valuable member for. And I think I bring a slightly different perspective, only being in this area for 4 years. I come from New York City, where I spent too much of my life. So I think I've got a slightly different perspective that might be helpful as well.
Anybody have any follow-up with that, or everybody did? Right. So I got 3 other questions, but I can hold them if somebody on the board has a question that they would like to ask.
You go ahead with.
I thought your questions were great, that you had out there. We saw them beforehand.
What qualifications do you have that would make you a good board member?
I'm over 18. I'm educated myself. Qualifications. I care about, I'm interested in the community, and I chose to live here. One of the reasons I chose to live here was because of the Dover School at the time and the quality of the education they had provided. I'm thoughtful, detail-oriented. Yeah.
I mean, it's a little tough, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to give my CV out, but
No, we didn't want to put the questions out ahead of time, because if we had multiple candidates, we want everybody to get it at the same time.
Makes sense.
I'm actually going to add a quick question, but how would you approach being one member of a 6-member board that is responsible to the needs of both communities? So, you know, the thing being that we have 3 people from each town, but we're both all responsible for 2 towns worth of communities. It's not as tough as her job in legislature, where she's one person responsible. How many towns?
6.
6. Almost the opposite of us. So how do you deal with that? How do you approach that?
Well, it's the River Valley's board that's responsible for 2 schools, 2 buildings. I don't know what terminology you guys finally decided on, but so it's important to make sure that you're making decisions that are representative of both towns and what's most important for the children of both towns. I don't think Dover is responsible for Dover and Wardsboro for Wardsboro. It's one board.
You guys all do. This is a tough one, so if you need me to repeat it, just ask.
May I just make a comment?
Yeah.
This, to me, it's really valuable to me that we have someone that's coming forward that actually did participate in a number of our meetings that were coming together, considering, you know, I think we're past the super fragile time, but we're still in that new time, so.
Well, not only just that he participated, but he went to the Act 46 hearings.
Yes.
He went and he contributed. He was, you know,
Yes.
he worked with us on some different projects, so. No, I totally agree with you. This was my question, and this was near and dear to my heart, okay? So
There's a wrong answer.
There is no wrong answers.
Yes, there is.
It's only wrong people. No. Yet at the local store, the day after the board voted 5-1 against an issue that was near and dear to you. Obviously, you were the only one who voted for it. And several citizens who wanted to see the article pass asked you what happened. What do you tell them?
The board made a decision. If you disagree, come in front of the board.
That's it. But I voted for you. Why don't you look after my interests? Why don't you fix this now?
You voted for me. Now I'm a member of the board, and I've got to do what I feel is right. I voted for it, and the majority of the board didn't. I can't force people to vote the way I want them to.
You follow?
Great. You know, I think providing a perspective, I know he's been involved in all the meetings, but also he provides perspective on some of the things that we want to do with the website and some of the other issues. So I think he'll bring a lot to the table.
So this position, Mark, actually, shouldn't say expires. The term runs out this town meeting. So,
Need you to petition soon.
are you gonna, there has been different people that have been appointed, both to the school board and select board, that have chosen not to run. You know, after they serve out the balance of the term. And when you get appointed to fill a position, you fill the position to the next regular special meeting. So even if this had just been a 3-year position and wasn't due to expire till like 2023, you would still have to run. So there would be like 2 people running in Dover this year. Do you have interest and will you run for the position?
Is that a question we can ask? Or
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'll answer happily. I will run, and I had already planned on running, so.
Everybody good? So we're gonna have an executive session at the end of the meeting, so we'll discuss you. And even if we voted right now, you can't become a member of the board till you're sworn in. And I forgot to go see Andy today, to be honest, to see if he would have a problem if I'd sworn somebody in, if we appointed somebody. So I will give you a call or send you an email tonight after, or if you want to wait till after executive session, we'll, obviously, we don't make decisions in executive session, so we'll come out and make a decision. And then if the decision is positive in your favor, then you would just have to go get sworn in. I would let Andy know, and you'd just have to go get sworn in, and then you could start at the next meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Excellent.
You have any questions for us?
No, just thank you for your consideration.
Well, thank you for applying.
Yes, thank you for stepping up. Really appreciate it, and all the time that you've spent beforehand paying attention to what we've been doing.
Okay. Moving right along. Old business, WCSU HR policy updated, needs VSBA. So remember there was a question about checking, this is Carrie's issue, checking social media, and VSBA's still not gotten back to Bill as of Friday afternoon. I didn't call him today. Policy status report. So a long time ago, we kind of knocked off a lot of the easy policies, and Rick had asked a couple times to see what policies that weren't required that both schools had that may be of interest to the River Valleys Board. So I have here, I hope I have here, I said this is going to be a tough day. Okay, so these are some of the policies. I didn't get copies of this for some reason, so I don't remember why. I don't see it. So there's like about 20 policies. Dover had a home usage guideline that was for using use of audio-visual equipment. I believe, no, that's the wrong one. There was a home usage policy right there, home usage guidelines. This was a policy that Dover had for computers. Believe it or not, we had an administrator take a computer out of the country and it got stolen and we had to pay for it. And it was not a good time. It was not a lot of fun. We have, Dover had a fundraising policy. Can you see the fundraising on here somewhere? Budgeting, authorization, general ledger.
Fundraising?
Yeah. Okay, so, you know what, that's not in red, so we didn't get that one yet. But Dover had a fundraising, somebody had an authorization of general journal entries.
Mm-hmm.
And that one
Right
you
here.
should have, because that's one that Bill thought, here, you take one and give one to Rick. Then there was, this one I believe is Wardsboro's, was investments. Is there one for investments?
What's the
Right here.
policy number?
The investment one is F51.
This is Dover.
Oh, is that Dover too? If you've taken them, did you get one of these for investment?
It's Keen's one.
Okay, so once you get them, put them over there, because we'll have to make one for Mark and for Barry. And then we had fraud prevention, which was F52. Dover had one called consent agenda, so we'd adopted the consent agenda, which isn't in here because it's they didn't feel that was that important, which just means we can do a whole bunch of things like the principal's report and just accept them as a consent agenda item. There was complaint procedure. And the very deadly Gatsby implementation. Government accounting standards? No?
Is that it? I saw, oh, it's right here.
Okay.
Top.
Which basically made everybody count all their nuts and bolts. Financial disaster recovery plan,
So are these all policies that Dover has, or Wordsworth doesn't?
Dover had.
Had.
Right, because
Sorry.
Dover doesn't exist
Right,
anymore.
had, but
So
Wordsworth
these
does
are,
not have.
these are the ones, I guess, that the administration felt that we would want to look at and maybe ones we want to think about adopting. Use of audio-visual equipment, I don't know if anybody does that anymore. But that was for people to, one time, a board member came in and the film projector was missing. And she went ballistic, so we had a use of audio-visual. Yeah. There's 3 that I think came from Dover: reimbursement of damaged property, school bus discipline, administrative review and format, and I guess those weren't thought of to have us do. Authorization of general journal entries, that's an accounting one. I think that came because of the accountants, but you don't have that.
No,
Okay,
we
so
have.
I'll have to find that.
Search and seizure.
What was the school bus one again, please?
School bus discipline.
Okay. Journal entries was listed third.
Authorization of general journal entries. Matt, can you see if you can maybe find that one for us at some point? It's E 1.2, used to be E 1.2. And then we had transportation for non-residents, verification of student residency, truancy, and headlights. Truancy we already have.
We did not get rid of our headlights policy, did we?
We don't know. Dover didn't, but there's no Dover anymore, so.
We don't have one?
But, yeah, and the headlights, I guess, isn't that big a deal anymore either.
Oh, feel free to knock on wood.
Oh, well, I've never had any hair. Mark will fit in good with me. We don't have to worry about headlights.
Sure.
You gotta have hair.
That was Richard.
Dover's, but we bought 2 headlamps to look at headlights.
Really?
Yeah, Mark Wallace bought them. Dover School Assessment Policy, that one's circled. Did we have that one there?
Assessment, yes.
And then we have home usage guidelines, which was budgeting. Is there a budgeting policy? Then we also had bus use by community, which I don't believe we have in fitness. And then we got searches, seizures, and interrogations of students by law enforcement personnel. That should be the last one from Dover. And then the only other one Dover had was pupil privacy rights student surveys. So those are the ones that come from Dover. The ones that come from Wardsboro are right here. And I didn't get a bunch of copies of these, but Wardsboro had harassment of employees. So we have harassment of students, but not employees. They have an investment policy also. Reporting suspected child abuse or neglect. Home study student participation, which they're suggesting may want to be a procedure. It's a very short one. It's like two sentences. They also have a truancy policy, a fitness policy, but that's a Wyndham Central one. Is our fitness policy from Wyndham Central? Oh, we didn't do it. And educational support systems, which we don't have any educational support systems anymore. ESS has turned into what do they call it now?
MTSS.
MTSS, and that's just to make sure we keep everybody current. So is there any of those policies that we want to look in, we want to get a copies of Wardsboro's to review? So we had harassment of employees.
Why wouldn't we look at all of them?
We could. Do you want me to get copies of them?
Well, I mean,
Well,
I'm excited
educational
to look at
support
all of them.
systems
Why wouldn't
are no longer, right, we don't do that anymore. It's a whole different. So I would say that all the ESS ones went away anyways. Fitness was a Wyndham Central one. Is the fitness, Tammy, something you think we should look at?
I think it's one of those boilerplate ones that's, for all of the schools.
Okay, so we'll look at that if you want to look at it. Truancy, does your truancy, was that pretty close to was that a standard truancy policy? Actually, there is a school administration will develop procedures to prevent and address truancy consistent with Leland and Gray Union Middle School policy.
Oh,
And this was done in 2011, so it's like 8 years old, so there's probably been a bunch of changes anyways. So we're gonna skip that one. Home study participation. This is a 2012 policy. Act 119 of 1998, is that still in effect? That's the one that
Don't look at
allows
me, I
home
wasn't there
study
then.
students to participate in courses, programs, activities, and services, and use school educational material and equipment.
It definitely comes up.
Okay, so then let's take that one and look at that one. And again, Bill's suggesting that may want to be a procedure, not a policy. Suspected child abuse or neglect. Now, that's a law? Yeah. Do we need to have a policy for that?
I'm just looking at the VSBA model manual.
No, they say you don't. Right?
So it's just part of Act 1 that is mandated reporters.
Okay.
That's probably the most part.
We'll do the investment policy just so we can compare with Dover's. Right, do we have an investment from Dover? Okay, so let's get that one. And then the harassment of employees. Tammy, was that something? Do you know why that was put in
What's the
place?
title of it again? I'm sorry. I missed it.
Harassment of employees. Oh, wow, this goes back to, it was warned in 09, adopted in 10, and reviewed in 12. It says the administrator cannot do anything. No. You familiar with it at all?
I don't remember the history on that.
It sounds like it was one that we had to, had been mandatory at one time. Legal references like a public accommodations.
we should probably look at it, right?
Yeah, okay, so we're gonna look at those, so we'll get 1, 2, 3. Matt, yep.
So it is a required policy, B5, prevention of employee harassment.
Oh, we have it already?
Well, it's required. Let me see if we adopted it in December.
Is it on the River Valleys list?
Well,
Yes.
I can't put my hand on the River Valley list really quickly.
I've got it. It's, yep, you already adopted it.
So-
B5, you adopted it in December.
Okay. So then we don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. You have
Okay, so,
an active fee.
so we're gonna do investment policy, participation of home study students, and model policy on fitness. Matt, I'm gonna ask you, because we're in your school tonight, can you just make
Yeah, absolutely.
some copies? And then, the only other thing too, if you would you make copies of that for everybody, just so they
Yeah.
can see? You know what, actually, let me give you this one.
This one's 2 pages.
No, just one.
This one?
One's Wardsboro, one's Dover.
Oh, so pull back one.
Yeah, let me have that one back, because that one I wrote all over. Okay, so
And then each one of these, we need copies
5,
for everybody?
yeah,
Okay. Got it.
okay. So that'll be, so we're not gonna obviously go through these tonight, but why doesn't everybody look at them? And for the next meeting, Peter will make a note that if everybody can kind of maybe tell me which ones you think we should start on first, looking at, or if, after you read them, if you think that they're not needed, not
Not to
required.
throw a monkey wrench in, but are there possibly things that Wardsboro had and Dover had that River Valleys does not have? I'm
Yes,
just thinking
these
of the
should be,
residency policy.
I'm sorry, these should be the ones.
Okay.
Did we do our res?
I don't think River
Did we do our
Valleys has a
res?
residency policy, did
Doesn't have one, we need one.
they? And we
Yes.
definitely need one. I'm just
Okay.
trying to find the biggest burn.
Okay, so when Matt comes back, Peter, we need a sample residency policy, because it's a lot easier now than it used to be. Because now all we gotta do is ask people for their
You guys
homestead.
had one. Wardsboro took yours because
Right.
you had yours vetted.
Right, but ours is
The two of
no,
us don't have one.
right, but ours was prior to Act 68
Okay.
with the residency, with the, because you have to file the homestead paperwork now. So now it's very easy. All we have to do is, you have to submit your homestead paperwork. And that's that's something you fill out with your taxes, so. But let's, Matt comes, or Tammy, could you just make a note of that, you and Matt?
Sure.
Get us whatever we should do for residency, and that's an important one, and we'll get that first, especially.
One of the towns is developing one that Bill wanted to model ours after.
Stratton.
Correct.
Yeah, so
But I
let's
don't
see
know
where
if
they
it's-
stand, and
Yeah.
we'll know. And just note that, Peter, that we want to keep that on top of the list of, that residency is important.
Got it.
Good?
Okay, yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up because I know it's
It's
gonna
gonna
be
be,
before us, before we know it, and we don't have a policy.
So none of these policies don't already exist or
no, because they were either a Dover or Wardsboro policy.
okay, so we need to decide, one, if we need them,
Right.
yes, and two, if we should.
So what happened in Dover is we started getting rid of policies, because policies are very restrictive.
Right.
You have to follow policies word for word, so we went for procedures. And there's a couple of them that, Bill said should we just be a procedure, not a policy. So just review them, glance over them. A couple of them are, there's one from each school, they may be exactly the same, they may just say Wardsboro and Dover. And then what we'll do is we'll make a list up, and these are the ones we're gonna review, and maybe we'll try to do a couple a month.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that way we're not killing ourselves, but we'll get which is the priorities, which it sounds like truancy, residency.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
is everybody good with that?
Yeah, do we want to decide on which ones to work on?
Well, I think everybody look at them,
And then we'll decide.
right, because you just got them, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so when we leave, we just wanna we wanna just separate those, and there should be like 3 left. So we'll separate them into 3 piles, and I'll take one, and we'll leave one for Barry and one for the new board member. This is part of the Google search thing. Growth success strategies. 3 additions.
You want a file for yourself, Richard?
Yeah, I want to keep a clean set in case I need to make copies. Okay, growth success strategies. So there were 3 things that we were talking about for growth success. More, what were they? Does anybody remember? I think this was something we were just keeping on the agenda.
This was part of our retreat.
Right.
We wanted to look at this while we're budgeting. It's all right. Definitely was something I was talking about,
Yes.
but we've come to some conclusions, I think, right?
Okay, so the 3 growth success strategies were increasing population. So all you married people start working on increasing the population. Marketing/branding and website development. So
Marketing, branding, and website development, right?
Well, I have marketing, branding, website, because there's three. So what are we gonna do with, I forgot what we're gonna do with those.
That's me.
So somebody tell me what we're doing.
We're
with
gonna
those
look
ones.
at the, we're gonna look at.
Oh, we're looking at,
A big website as part of our
Right.
budget.
okay. So this goes in with our budget discussion. Matt, thank you for that letter. Did you get the letter?
Yes, when you sign?
Yes.
Yes. There, where it's signed. And you want me to do that?
Yes.
Here's an extra copy. There's an extra copy of each one of these, if you guys, anybody want one?
Okay, we're a little sideways, sorry about that.
That's the best jobs.
Okay, so you guys all good?
Yeah,
Ready to move on? Okay. So, a letter to bargaining unit action. So we have a letter, Dear Wyndham Central Education Association, Vermont, NEA/NEA. We'd like to notify the Wyndham Central Education Association of the River Valley's Union School District Board of School Directors' intent to negotiate for a successor collective bargaining agreement. Request a meeting of the representatives to establish ground rules for bargaining. Please contact Bill Anton to communicate some dates and times you'll be able to meet in the month of November. So it would be signed by Rick and I as chair and vice chair of the negotiation team. So we just need a motion to approve that letter in a second.
Go ahead.
moved.
Okay, so Laura moved that that Rick and I sign the letter. Is there a second? Barry, Dwight seconds it. There is no Barry. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Beaman men, aye.
Me and Scotty, there's no good life here. Okay. Principals report. We actually had a principals report, a written one last meeting. So besides a written report, which we're not gonna go over again because we beat that one up last time, you guys got anything else for us?
We had parent-teacher conferences last Tuesday afternoon, and I would say they were very well attended, probably in the high 80%. Yeah.
Didn't you tell us this last night?
You
Oh,
might be
we
thinking
know
about
that's
They were scheduling.
open
Open
house.
house?
You might have been thinking about open house,
Oh, yes, okay.
which we reported on
That's
last time.
okay.
Maybe as long as they were going to add.
Okay. Sorry.
That's okay. We also had the fire department visit last Wednesday, and we practiced a drill with them there. And they did like a fire safety lesson with the kids, which was great. So, yeah, other than that, not much to report since the last meeting.
Matt?
Yeah, same. We also did fire safety. We had the fire department come, practice the drill. Tammy and I also have been starting work on the budget. So we're working through that process and all that entails, which is complex. And we're getting assistance from Lori Garland, the central office, as we learn the new system. And yeah,
Thank you.
you're welcome.
Cabinet report, so we had a written one from Bill last meeting, and he had no updates as of Friday afternoon. I actually talked to him this morning, and he didn't mention anything. So next thing is school events. Anything going on in the Wardsboro building? coming up?
We're continuing our STEAM Monday afternoons. Today, the kids made sail cars from our makerspace cart and got to test them, which was really exciting for them. They want to go back and re-engineer and redesign those, which we will do next Monday. But nothing like formally planned as far as community outreach or anything.
Question. So the ski program or the winter program, sports program, is there any talk about doing that in conjunction to the two schools together? I know it's winter's around the corner, and is that something that might be consideration? To have on the same day, maybe?
We don't, we're on different days.
Different days.
Yeah, at this point.
All right.
So we haven't explored combining any resources for that yet.
It does, yeah. It does seem like it might be a really great opportunity next year for professional development and other things, yes, yeah.
Yeah, but some of it's Mount Snow, right? Because Mount Snow's the one that determines when people can come, because
Yeah, they have to balance all
the different schools.
So we're small enough that we may be able to make a request, I would think, right?
Well, remember, we're not telling you what to do, we're just asking questions.
Yes.
Good question.
And it could be a good idea also for professional development to use that time in the afternoons to do some collaboration. Just a thought.
We do have some PD planned with
And we always have a full sort of IB program, a PD plan for those afternoons.
Thank you, Tammy. And again, I'm amazed at what you guys have done, and especially Tammy over there in Wardsboro, doing STEM and STEAM stuff so quick, we're thinking a few years down the road, so, that's a lot of kudos to you and your staff and Matt, with helping her and assisting. You guys are doing a great job.
Absolutely.
Dover, Matt, you,
We have a couple things coming up. We've done for the last 3 years a Veterans Day school sing that we'll do again. This year it'll be on, since we don't have Veterans Day off, it will be on Friday the 15th of November. So any help the board can offer with helping get the word out to veterans to come that day and honor veterans with us.
I'm sorry, what date is it?
It's the 15th, and it's at our usual school sing time at 8:10. And yeah, we have a couple of students who are history buffs, and last year one of them made did a nice speech about World War II. And
you did what?
well, one of our fifth grade students last year is a real history buff, and he asked if he could do a little speech, which was reading a memoir of a World War II soldier, and he kind of did it in character. It was really very cool, and sing a few patriotic songs, and it's been a good event the past few years. So we'll do that.
You've gotten a lot of the veterans, a lot of the students, grandparents, aunts
Right.
and uncles and stuff that are veterans. I know a lot of them come up and they really appreciate it.
Yeah, they like it, and they come and we ask them to tell us which child or which connection they have with the school, so they get a chance to kind of show off their grandkid or their great-grandkid, in some cases, their great-great-grandkid. Pretty cool. It's good.
I'm really sorry, Matt.
Yeah.
Give me a second to get in here.
Yeah. November 15th. That's a Friday,
Yes,
and it's at 8:10.
okay. Thank you.
So just a quick story, we almost lost Laura. She didn't almost come on the school board because she was so involved because of her family connection in the military. She was so involved with the military stuff. We almost didn't get her, but
It was a
luckily,
long time ago.
yeah. She came to us, so we got her on the Dover School Board many, many moons ago. So what, all your brothers serve?
My brother-in-law, sister-in-law.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
don't
yeah,
know.
12 siblings. altogether, so that's pretty
Nice
impressive.
trivia.
Okay, if Barry's not here, so I don't know if Barry's gonna make it. He hasn't made the last couple of Wyndham Central meetings. So we have a Wyndham Central meeting Wednesday night, which is, where's that? 23rd. So Laura, are you around?
I'm supposed to be in Westminster at their Westminster Select Board meeting, which will probably be, it's Wednesday.
Yeah. And Barry may attend. He said last time he would, but I think it was at the last meeting.
I'm supposed to be there at 7 o'clock. So sometimes, it's possible that we won't speak till 8. It's possible I'll be out at
Are you around
7:05.
Wednesday night?
I don't think so.
What time is the meeting? Is it 6 or 6?
7.
7.
Yeah, 7, like 8:30. Peter hopes 8:30.
You can come right after.
I think hopefully we'll be done by then. I don't think, we only got 3 action items, 4.
Uh,
No, that's nice for the carpool.
Okay,
How many people are we gonna have?
we've had enough at every meeting. It's just I've been the only River Valley's representative.
If it feels like it's really urgent, I can see if I can get out of my work thing.
I'll try to follow up with Barry and see what this
If
situation.
you wouldn't, let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see what's happening with Barry. And you think you can make this one?
Pretty sure I can make it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm hoping to get everybody out of there by 8:30. The only other new business, and Matt, I don't know if you want me to read this or if you want me to hand it over to you. But we had in our packets an October 2019 IB PYP update from the coordinators, Sue Newman and Allison. Do you want me to just read it? Do you want to read it quickly? Do you want to just summarize it, or?
It's just this, I think it's just fine to say this is something that we used to do for the Dover board. And the coordinators asked if I wanted to keep doing it, and I said, sure. So we sent it out to you guys just as a kind of a FYI of what's going on with IB.
So let me read it real quick
Yeah,
then.
go for it.
Okay, collaboration time is one of the most challenging parts of teaching a small IB PYP school. Our schedule does allow for some collaboration time during the day, but that time is limited, and it is also time we must use to meet with interventionists, plan lessons, and so forth. We have 2 IB faculty meetings monthly to facilitate more collaboration time. We designated one of our monthly meetings as time for teacher collaboration. The other meeting is used to further our PYP practice as a group. Let's get that to look at. IB asks that coordinators keep a log as evidence of collaboration. We're in a phase called self-study. Coordinators gather data and evidence of all work pertaining to our PYP. And at the end of the self-study period, IB personnel will come to observe our program again. Do you know when that is, Matt? Is that like a couple of years down the road, or?
The end of the self-study period is 2023.
So 3 years. Okay. During our back-to-school night, parents received information about the PYP program from each classroom teacher. We also have changed our monthly citizenship awards to reflect the IB learner profile and attitudes. Cool. Each teacher writes up a brief commentary explaining what the attribute the students has demonstrated. We hope that continues use of the IB PYP language will encourage parents to use the same vocabulary that we use in school. As teachers continue to grow and become more proficient at teaching IB units, they are integrating all subject areas more and more into the transdisciplinary themed units. Teachers are adding appropriate complementary math and literacy skills into these units to make the units more interdisciplinary. Also, inquiry itself is becoming a more profound part of all the lessons we teach throughout the day. Sue and Allison. Wow, I'm never reading one of them again.
I read that earlier, right? Surprised you weren't reading that.
I didn't read it earlier, I wish I had. I think that's it. I have another new business. Rick, you got anything?
Nope.
Laura, you good? Now we come back to you?
No, I think I'm good.
Okay. You got anything? Matt, Tammy, you guys all set? Carrie, we read your resignation letter, and I explained to them that we had to accept it. It didn't matter what we vote, because once you write it, it's a done deal. But we accepted it with regrets, because we're gonna miss you. But thank you for the nice letter.
Thank you for letting me be part of the board. I really enjoyed it. I'm going to try to come to as many meetings as I can, just to,
See what's going on.
yeah. It's fun watching it and, you know, to be part of it, so. Member of the public. Member of the public.
You guys got anything? No? Newspaper, Mark? Peter,
I'm good.
your last chance.
Will
Rick?
you wear your robe?
Member of the public.
Go do our executive session.
Okay, so we have a contractual issue and we also have the membership issue in executive session. So our next meeting is in Wardsboro on November 4th at 6:30. Now, we are getting budgets presented to us at that meeting, correct?
These are the first draft.
So that would be very good. Let's take that. Make sure you do your homework, look at those policies. We'll, you know, even if we don't spend a lot of time, we'll get at least the first couple we want to do.
What is our goal?
A couple policies a month.
Okay, and what was the, so you just handed Rick and I like another
So that was
file
the
of
ones
a
that we
bunch
were
of-
passing out from Dover that we read, like the bus discipline,
Mhm.
the head lice one. So those are there. If you guys want copies, I mean, I just gave it to you to glance at. If you think you
I
want
think
copies
we
or
probably have enough.
for a little while.
Yeah, why don't we
Okay.
not
Yeah, this
pass
should
those
be one
out?
process.
Just, I mean,
Okay.
it would be an accomplishment for me to
So
bring these
Tammy,
back next time.
there's a packet here for Barry. Will you make sure he gets, or
Sure.
leave him at the building? We'll try to tell him to come pick him up.
This handbook, too.
Okay. And then-
I'd be better off doing those.
You want to
Because I want to
Yeah.
just,
this too for him?
Yeah, I'll see you in the morning.
yeah. And then,
Sure.
Matt, I'm gonna leave a package with you. So Mark, if you get appointed, you can come get it from Bill. And if you don't, we'll call the other guy and have him come get it.
Or girl.
Girl, person.
That's not me, but,
Yeah. No, those are originals. Oh, hey, Matt, real quick. So there was supposed to be the thing for the recognizing the outstanding teacher for your,
Yes.
and it got moved to December 5th. So we need to know by September 10th. Are we sure that's a good date now, or do you think they're gonna change it again?
We think that's a good idea.
Okay, so can you bring that up for us at the next meeting?
Sure.
And then if we get some people to go?
Yeah.
Is there gonna be some carpooling, or do you know, or some
I think so.
people heading up, or is there a group heading up?
Yeah,
or-
I don't know about a group. I think Bill is going, and I think there's 2 folks from Leland and Gray. I'm going, Nancy's going up with her husband. I'm probably gonna stay after it and take my son out to dinner, because he
Oh, cool.
goes to school today now. But I imagine there will be a couple points to carpool if anybody's interested.
Okay,
Yeah, perfect.
so, yeah, will you make sure you bring that up at the next meeting? Yeah, because we meet the 4th, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have to let them know till the 10th. So I would entertain a motion moving to executive session for contractual and for, and to discuss a possible board member. Mark, do you want to hang out, or do you want, are you going to take off?
I can hang out.
Okay, well then, let's do this. Let's move into executive session to discuss the board member, and we'll come out after that decision, or after that discussion, see if we can make a decision. And then we'll go back in for
I
the,
think this is gonna be a little lengthier.
no, that definitely will be, so. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Laura moved to go into executive session, discuss the replacement board member. Somebody second it?
Second. I'm the second guy.
Dwight seconds it, because he's the second guy today. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Right, won't be the first time.
Okay, we'll be right back.
You want administration in this, or?
No, I think you. Mr. Peter, we're out of executive session by unanimous consent at whatever time, I can't see the clock. 7:47?
Yeah.
Going down the strip there, going down, you gonna take
Okay,
it?
all right. Are we out? Are we
Go,
ready?
yeah, well,
I move that we appoint Mark Schauber to fill the remaining term
of the vacated
of the vacated
school board
school board
position
position
until the next
for
regular
the next regular election
or special election.
or special election.
So her motion is to appoint Mark to fill the term of the vacated position until the next regular or special town meeting. Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second that.
Rick seconds it. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Mark, congratulations. I'll call Andy tomorrow, just go get sworn in sometime. So we will now go back into executive session to discuss contractual issues. So Mark, we're gonna invite you in as a member of the public. Okay, because you're not a board member yet, because you gotta get sworn in first. So, if you'd like to go in, you can. I sent some homework out, so obviously you didn't get the homework, but.
That means I didn't have to do it.
Right, so if you'd like to come in, you're more than welcome to. If you had other plans, you don't have to, but we just think it may get you up to speed.
Yeah, no, I'll come in.
Okay, so, yeah, I have 2 copies. So I'll entertain a motion to move into executive session for contractual issues
Do we have to
And
say
with-
with
right.
Mark Schauber?
to invite a member of the public.
Yes. So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Rick seconded it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So we are not going to make any decision